Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Wings Over Tbilisi 2020. My name is Luke Carrico, guest narrator for the Steel Eagles as they replicate the 1991 performance of the world-famous Eagles aerobatic team. As the formation lifts off and reaches show center, they'll begin today's sequence with the signature three-ship snap roll on takeoff. With the snap roll complete, the formation will climb high and to the right as they set up for their first series of formation aerobatic maneuvers. As they do so, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the pilots flying in today's Eagle formation. Flying Eagle number 1 in the lead position is Dominic Rush Germano from Detroit, Michigan. Flying Eagle number 2, the right wing, is Robbie Hope DeVirgello from Bedminster, New Jersey. And flying Eagle number 3, the left wing from Rotterdam, Netherlands, is Erwin Callsign Fox. The team takes great pleasure in performing for you as they debut this exciting and dynamic three-ship display in one of the world's most prevalent aerobatic biplanes, the Christian Eagle 2. Now, as the noses come down, the airspeed will come alive as our formation approaches for its first aerobatic maneuver. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to introduce to you the Steel Eagles Aerobatic Team 1991. 220 miles an hour as the noses come up for the intricate formation barrel roll. Each aircraft welded as one as they go through the 360-degree rolling maneuver, each maintaining minimum separation as if flown together with one set of controls. They'll extend ahead and to our left as they bring the three-ship Vic formation back towards show center. The Steel Eagles combine the skill, showmanship, and precision found in the virtual air shows community and hopes to inspire you to refine your skills in virtual aerobatic flight. Now look high and to the left as they dive in, trading altitude for airspeed, airspeed for altitude as the Eagles approach for the Vic formation loop. As they go to the vertical upline, we'll watch as they go up and over the top, picking up our show line. Coming down the backside, you'll see our two wingmen, Hope and Fox, maintaining that very tight spacing on the leader's aircraft. They'll extend now low and to our right as the entire formation prepares to simultaneously change direction. Eagle 1 has now called the flight into line abreast formation as they pull straight up, soon to run out of airspeed to kick hard on their left rudders for the incredible simultaneous hammerhead turnaround. With the hammerhead complete, our right wing now left, our left wing now right as they tighten the formation and dive back towards show center. Passing 180, 190, 200 miles an hour approaching center point, the flight will separate. First into the pull to the vertical is Dominic Rush Germano, followed by Robbie Hope DeVirgello, and finally in tail end Charlie, that's Erwin Callsign Fox. They'll accelerate to the vertical, running out of the airspeed, using the torque of their engines to turn on a dime and give you 9 cents change. How about that? Let's give it up for the Steel Eagles and the Cluster Hammerhead. They'll extend now off to our right, soon to experience some 6 times the force of gravity as each Eagle pulls back on the stick, flying into a loop with a snap roll on the top. This is called the avalanche. Now, in the extended trail formation, each pilot will climb high and to our right as they reposition for our next maneuver. The Eagles Aerobatic Team, considered by many to be one of the most decorated civilian aerobatic groups of all time. Featuring aerobatic champions Tom Poberezny, Charlie Hillard, and Gene Soucy, the team performed prominently on the North American Air Show circuit for more than 25 years. To our right, the Eagles are set up now in the signature Vic formation. Formation pilots fly often what is known as paint, using a paint marking or other distinguishable item on the leader's aircraft to reference and triangulate the proper position. Let's watch now as they come in this time to fly into the vertical and split this formation into 2 parts. You'll want to get your print screen buttons ready for this very special salute from the Steel Eagles to each and every one of you. there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the giant heart in the sky, dedicated to each and every one of you witnessing today's program, Wings Over Tbilisi. Now it's time to step it up a notch as we have two airplanes to the left and one to the right as they make their way in to converge towards Show Center with a closure rate of more than 400 miles an hour as they set up for the dynamic vertical rejoin. Eagle 1 will perform a half Cuban 8 as Eagle 2 and 3 perform simultaneous line abreast loops with the aim to rejoin back into the Vic formation. Eagle 2 and 3 now making their way back right into position. How about that? Let's give it up for the Steel Eagles in the vertical rejoin. Of course, the hardest part of formation flying is putting it all back together. To the right, Rush, Hope, and Fox will rejoin once again. As you can imagine, formation flying is very difficult for those who do it. And for those who have flown formation in the simulator know how demanding it is to put in the right control inputs at the right time to maintain that very exact position. You will also know that the line abreast formation is among the most challenging formation to fly. At this time, Eagle 1 has called the flight into line abreast. Each pilot now having to look from their flight path 90 degrees as they prepare to go up and over the top for the very challenging line abreast loop. Smoke on, take a look. Up they go, maintaining the very minimum wingtip to wingtip separation. In the sky like a giant waterfall, they'll come back down the backside as the two wingmen slide right back into the famous Vic or V formation. Having now completed the line abreast loop, the Eagles will set themselves up this time for the downward bomb burst. The team flying the Christian Eagle 2, one of the most capable aerobatic biplanes on the face of the planet today. Designed by Frank Christensen, the Christian Eagle was built specifically for the Eagles aerobatic team as they transitioned from their pit specials in 1979. It features a Lycoming AEIO 360 engine producing some 200 horsepower. It is incredibly light, weighing in only 1,025 pounds. The fuselage and tail constructed from steel welded tubing, and the forward fuselage in aluminum with the rear and tail covered in fabric. Let's watch now as the team goes up and over the top for the downward bomb burst as team lead calls standby, ready break. At all 3 points of the compass now, each pilot tracking away from Show Center to our left, to our right, and to our front. With simultaneous half Cuban 8 reversals, they'll converge onto Show Center to pull into the vertical for this maneuver affectionately known as the Squirrel Cage. Member of the original Eagles aerobatic team are among the most legendary pilots in the history of aerobatic aviation. Team leader Charlie Hillard was the first American to win the individual world aerobatic title, having won for the U.S. the gold in 1972 with an original maneuver, now an air show staple known as the torque roll. Tom Poberesny, aerobatic competitor, aerobatic air show airplane builder, and previous president of the Experimental Aircraft Association, or EAA. Gene Soucy, aerobatic pilot and showman, still performing to this day in a one-of-a-kind Grumman Agcat he calls the Showcat. Together, the Eagles personified the culture of a civilian aerobatic team, and their legacy lives on as the industry standard for civilian formation aerobatics. The noses come down as the Vic picks up airspeed. As it increases, the formation becomes harder and harder to maintain as every control input is multiplied. Hope and Fox remain digitally locked on to Rush's aircraft in the lead as they perform this, the vertical break. diving towards the ground at some 200 miles an hour. It's now time for some solo action from our number 3 pilot, Fox, as he approaches this time only a few hundred feet above the ground. He is going to pull straight up at show center for a maneuver he likes to call the spin cycle. Let's watch from the left. 210 miles an hour. 6 G's back on the stick as he flies into the vertical. A quarter roll to the left, a full roll to the right. Let's watch as he runs out of airspeed, rolling the airplane on the top, turning on a dime, giving you 9 cents change and bringing it right back down towards the ground. He will exit center stage as the action continues with Eagle 1 and 2 for the opposing 4-point rolls. They will pause briefly, each 90-degree angle of bank as they cross just a wingtip distance apart. The action stays fast and furious as all 3 Eagles converge once again. Picking up each other's smoke trails, Eagle 2 calls tally-ho as he picks up the 2-ship formation low and to our right. 1 aircraft high and above, 2 down and below. They will reposition in nothing less than an Eagle specialty. Crossing show center at 2 different altitudes with 2 different elements of aircraft. You are about to see one of the most impressive rejoins you may ever see in your life, either real or virtual. Approaching in now at over 400 miles an hour closure. Eagle 1 and 3 are to the left. Eagle 2 high and to the right. They will cross approximately at show center just a wingtip distance apart as 2 and 3 go into immediate bank turns as Eagle 1 performs a 5/8 loop with a roll on the backside. This will be followed by a complete barrel roll up and around with 2 and 3 performing yet another opposing pass, placing the pilots exactly where they need to be and somehow putting everything right back together in the perfect rejoin. This is precision flying at its finest, and if that's not deserving of a huge round of applause, I don't know what is. Let's make some noise for the flying skill and expertise of the Steel Eagles aerobatic team. Now, as the team sets up for their final maneuvers, we call this the Farvel Series. They will approach in the 3-ship Vic to our left, as Eagle 1 will roll to the inverted position, upside down, as they dive in towards show center point. Reaching the right end of our aerobatic box, he will push forward, leading the formation under negative G's as they climb. This is remarkably challenging. Keep your eyes locked on for the Farvel. Watch the skill of the wingmen as they reverse, now having to fly their biplanes in close formation in opposite wing positions. A difficult task made even more so challenging while flying upside down. The Eagles will now reposition ahead and to our front for their last and final maneuver, one you do not want to miss as they approach for the switchblade break. We certainly hope you've enjoyed today's aerial presentation of the 1991 Eagles aerobatic team. And as they set up for their final maneuver of today's sequence, I would like to once again introduce the pilots flying today's performance to you. Flying Eagle number 1 in the lead position is Dominic Rush Germano from Detroit, Michigan. Flying Eagle number 2, the right wing, is Robbie Hope Divergello from Bedminster, New Jersey. And flying Eagle number 3, the left wing from Rotterdam, Netherlands, is Erwin, call sign Fox. We invite you to stand by and get your print screen buttons ready for the Eagles switchblade break. Ladies and gentlemen, directly before you, I give you the Steel Eagles 1991. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Luke Carrico, and it has indeed been a great pleasure to spend a small part of this day with each and every one of you. In closing, I hope you will join me in one final round of applause for the Steel Eagles and this virtual representation of the 1991 Eagles aerobatic team. Thanks to our cameraman Tim Camel Reynolds and the entire VA staff for hosting Wings over Tbilisi. There's a whole lot more to come, but my thanks to the Steel Eagles for having me on board today. You all have been a terrific virtual air show audience. Take care, and we'll see you next time.